How to Kill Nature by Chris and Kevin. All right, what's next?
What's next? A container for some fuel. Now we need the ignition switch on.
Yeah, key is in on, but there's no lights.
Oh, well, let's just see.
Holy no way. Hey, thanks for watching. We finally got it in the shop and off of the trailer. This is my 76 Squarebody step-side, two-wheel drive, V8 powered automatic transmission, POS, because it's terrible. I'm having some buyer's remorse with this thing, but I wanted it. And yes, I know, garbage Camaro, we're knee-deep in that, and the OBS truck, literally there's parts drying up in the spray booth, and all of this stuff it's all happening simultaneously. So you guys that are following the Camaro, thank you, man. I appreciate it. It's moving along too, because I'm just drinking from the fire hose right now. But there's all this stuff happening all at once.
Maybe both is happening at the same time.
And I couldn't not pay attention to this truck for a couple of different reasons. Why did I get this truck? I love this body style. I've wanted a version of this truck ever since, well, ever since about 1990, when I first started paying attention to the possibilities of me fixing up some cool cars. Secondly, one of the reasons that I'm actually going to hopefully see if it runs is that I want to take this thing to duct tape drags.
The wood side is attractive. I mean, if anything, he gets it on style points, right?
That event looks so fun, and it would be so cool to have this doing some crazy smoky burnouts and all that type of stuff. So I thought to myself, maybe we could go to duct tape drags with this. And so, yeah, we snapped it up, paid whatever. It doesn't matter how much money we paid for it. It's about what market value was. So today, we're going to see if the silly thing runs. I believe that these vehicles talk to us, and this one just gave me the middle finger. It's a V8, all the things like the choke riser, all the vacuum lines, it's all there. Somebody has popped an HEI distributor in, and apparently that's a good thing. If you remember, we got it to crank. I pulled the plugs, put some juice down in the cylinder bores, some shop stuff, and got it to turn over. Step one, that's good. The engine turns. Oh my God. Holy smokes. It worked. I don't do revivals. I don't go and rescue cars like Derek does and like Vice Grip, and you know, there's a bunch of different people that do that type of content, and I love it. I really like those stories. I love to see the win. and for new car or old cars to be brought back into a new life. But it's not what I do on my channel. So I'm not doing a revival here. But I want to see if this silly thing runs, because that's going to make the determination as to whether or not we can go forward with duct tape drags, have a functional vehicle. Maybe I can restore this thing. AMD has every single part to completely build a cab, bedsides, all that type of stuff. So lots of good reasons for doing what we're doing today. We're going to give it a shot. I got a couple things. I got a set of plugs, and we're going to gap the plugs, and I got one of these, right? This is the remote start button. I needed one of those, right? You guys were throwing stuff at the screen because I didn't have one of these. So what I'm going to do with this truck is I'm going to drain the oil. I'm going to take a look, and I'm going to look around, and we're going to do one piece at a time. We'll throw a set of plugs in it, get it ready. I've got a hot battery. We'll do all the things. And I hope you're as excited as I am about seeing whether this turd runs, because there's not very much good on this truck. And I want to know that at least there's a possibility of some kind of a project. All right, so this never ends well, but what we're going to do is drain the oil, and I'm going to put a strainer in the way, and I'm going to hope, well, first I'm going to hope that I can crack the bolt loose or the drain plug loose. There. That was a satisfying sound. And now I'm going to hope that the pea stream can be directed successfully into the strainer without oil running down my elbow. How's that going to work out, guys? Yeah, I think you know. All right, hold on to your butts. So why am I straining it? Straining it. So, oh, there you go. So I can see what the filter screen picks up. And for me, it's the first clue is if there's a bunch of metal chunks in the oil. And we'll take a look at it, and we'll do a scientific sample of it. Do a laboratory test. And I don't have a filter cutter opener, but this is seat of the pants, and all I want to know is if there's chunks of main bearings and rod bearings, or even gaskets. Or I saw Derek pull out a farm of rodents from an oil pan one time. All right, that's good enough for now. I'll put that back in. And I'll get the impact gun and tighten that drain plug up for a sec after we do that. All right, let's go take a look at this. Okay, so far, hey, it looks good. The strainer hasn't picked up a whole lot of stuff down at the bottom. Let's see what's down there. There's a bit of crust, but are you not seeing what I don't see? I don't see a lot. I don't see a lot of chunks. I don't see bearing material. I don't see gasket material. And so what I'm going to do is, while you're looking at that, I'm going to get a flashlight, and the glint of metal particles will show back through that oil if they're present there. I don't see it, man. I don't see it. And on this white paper, I don't even see any particulate. There's a few chunks. That's good. I'm going to take that as a positive sign, And I got to get an oil filter and the cheapest oil known to man. We're going to put it back in this thing. I'm going to get some high mileage oil, I think. What do you think? By the way, I found receipts in the center console of this truck from 2004, right? 2025 now, so let me do the math. "21 years, this thing." I'm going to say, and the guy I bought it from said it was about 18 or 20 years since it had run. So I'm gonna roll with 21 years that this thing has not had a fire lit under it. So all right, so I'm gonna zip out and get a filter and some Earl, and I'll be back. All right, maybe this will work. Oh no. Oh, great. Good deal. So I'm going to go out and pick up an oil filter wrench too, because the pliers don't seem to be doing the trick. All right. Oh, it's turning. Come on, sir. Okay, it's getting easier. What's gonna happen? I'm gonna puncture the sides, it's gonna rip on my face. I go from here. Okay. Okay, there we go. Success. Now, we get the mess. There. Nice. Okay. I'll put this in a ecologically friendly place to dispose of. There we go. All right. Okay. That completes the picture under here, with one exception. All right, so snug the oil pan. All right, now we'll put oil in from the top and hope for the best. Don't spill. All right, before I open that cap, I'm gonna blow some of that schmutz out of the way. what I'd like to do is spill some oil on the headers. That way when we fire it up and warm it up, it'll fill the room with clouds of smoke. It's one of my favorite things. I'm going to stop at 4 quarts and then check it. Look at that. That's 4 quarts. Tell me I'm not a mechanic. Wrench like Dewey Cox. Something. I don't know. What do you think? Looks like about a half a quart low to me. All right, so yes, we're right at the full line. Take that as a good sign. Put the cap back in, and that hurt. Climb up in the engine compartment any more times than I absolutely have to. All right, that's in. Now we've got PCV valves that are gone. Oh, I know what we can do. We'll take a look inside the... Oh no. All right, so it's not like I really need the cavalry to ride in here. Yes, I do. Chris.
Hey.
Kiwi Classics and Customs. If you haven't checked out his channel, you have to. Chris and I have done a couple of collaborations. You helped me with the bodywork on the garbage Camaro, getting that rocker situated and thinking my way through that process. And
yep.
You and I, we've known each other for a long time.
Yeah.
And several different projects. And I'm just glad Chris came through. He was visiting some family and had a couple of free hours. So what we're going to do is just kind of go through some basic systems, right?
Yeah.
And since he's been here, which is like 2.5 minutes, he's talked about different things that it never occurred to me. The first one was a compression test. I've got a compression tester. It's sitting on a shelf. It never occurred to me, you know. Anyway, so what I wanted to do was just kind of see if it runs, right?
Right.
We'll see if it fires and all that stuff. So I'm not going to say, hey, what's the first step, and let's be all crazy, but what are we doing first?
Well, I mean, you've got 3 ingredients to make an engine run,
Air, fuel, spark.
which is air, fuel, spark. So we need to see if we've got some power running to the, you've still got the screwdriver ignition key?
Yes.
I assume, yeah.
Yes, it's custom.
So we've got to see custom, yeah.
But
See if we've got some power running to the coil pack on the distributor. Because if we don't have that, it won't run. Look, key barrel, look at that.
so this is going to be forever known as the SLE cylinder. And apparently it's the same from 1971 to 82.
Okay.
I got it for the Camaro, but it's the same cylinder for
Same
here.
cylinder.
So,
There you go.
Yep.
So yeah, we make sure we got some spark going to the distributor. So we got some spark getting distributed across the cylinders. Then it's fuel. That's pretty simple. What I think we should do is just disconnect the pickup line that's coming from the tank into the pump. We'll just drop that off. We'll run it to a little spare remote tank and tuck it up here somewhere, just so the pump can, hopefully the pump will pull, deliver some fuel to the carburetor and see if the carburetor actually holds fuel and doesn't just overflow.
And if the pump doesn't pull, then I know what to get to the parts store, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But to verify that it runs is super important. And I agree with you. I don't trust anything on this truck.
No.
I had it up on the lift and I looked underneath and it really made me sad. So There's a lot of neglect.
Yeah, when you look up this, when you get up on the hoist and look under their skirt, it's the honest truth is told at that point.
Well, for sure, and this vehicle is telling a lot of truth. What's your first thing? Is it a compression test or
Let's
establish
just see if we've got any
current?
light going to the distributor.
Yep.
We'll check that. Then we'll do a compression test and hook up the fuel and.
Yeah, and I found
And the compression test you don't really have to do. You've got all the plugs out, you've got the tester.
Yeah.
When I was trying to get Marge going over in San Diego,
Yeah.
I mean, we were a long way from home then, like we didn't bother doing a compression test. She just had to start.
yeah.
This one, it's a little bit easier. We know if we give it a test, it's got 40 pounds, it's not going to light. You know it's
Right.
like it needs air, it does need air, fuel and spark, but
Right.
it also needs
It's
compression.
compression,
It's got to
right.
have compression. If it's got 40, 50 pounds,
Yeah.
it's not going to light.
But Chris asked me what it looked like when I turned it over for the first time, and it kicked out all of that lubricant.
Right.
And it spit it out violently. So
Right.
I know at least on a couple of holes there's some compression.
Yeah, when
So-
we cranked over the old Plymouth,
Yeah.
which had sat for 45 years, it was just kind of going. it was hardly moving
Yeah.
any air.
But what-
and we've still got that going.
You
So-
did. And one of the coolest things about, because I watched that whole series where you got that car and insanely drove it across the country, but it came back to life a
Yeah.
piece at a time.
Yeah.
And the wear items, I guess the rings expand and
Well, they free up
yeah.
that action of going up and down and running for
Yeah.
hours. Just it free the rings, particularly the oil rings, get
Yeah.
stuck. That engine
Yeah.
used a tremendous amount of oil in the first 500-600 miles.
right.
It's a wonder we didn't get stopped. It was like an old steam locomotive.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just progressively got better.
Well, then this one with 21 years, there's going to be some dried up stuff. I know that. But all right, well, let's. Do you want a test light?
Yeah. Getting an old engine started, 101, is connect the battery. Love these little side posts with their 8mm rings.
That's an 8mm, yeah. But the light did come on, so that verifies.
Okay.
And it's in park.
That's a start.
And I went ahead and did a couple of part store runs, obviously to do the oil change, and also a negative battery cable that's grounded on the alternator mount, which completes the circuit. It makes the electrons a little happier. Oh, look what I just found.
Ooh.
It's a bonus
What's
funnel.
in it? Oh, just leaves. Okay.
So the previous owner was an entomologist.
Yeah, we got a drain that sparks when we connect it. Or have you got the ignition the on
It's
position?
in the on position.
Okay.
Would you like it in on?
No, yeah, on's good. Yeah.
All right.
Yep. Well, we've got a dim glow. I wouldn't say that was a lot of voltage happening there.
You want a meter?
Yeah, we might try a meter just to see what we're getting there.
What's she saying?
12.4.
That's about right.
Yep. 12.3.
So just my test light is dim, that's
just-
all.
yeah.
That's good to know.
So we've got a hot distributor, so that's a good start. And it should crank now, right? If we give it a...
Yes.
Let's try just see if it's got any compression.
Okay. Do you want to get the tester?
Yep.
I'm dying to hook up the remote start switch. Can we do that too?
We can do that. Yeah.
Because that's just what all the cool kids do, you know? Chris has got one. Derek's got one. I have
We'll go from there.
no idea which pins to hook this up to, so I'm going to lean on
We
you for
just
that.
need one going to power, and then we need to get to the starter solenoid, which is hiding down there.
Do you want a light?
Yeah, I'll need
Flashlight?
a light. See, now if this was a Ford, we'd have a solenoid up here, and this would be really easy.
Yes.
But it's a Chevrolet, you see, but
Yeah.
everything's hard.
And if it was a Ford, the dizzy would be right here.
Well, that's true. Yeah. That's true.
Where I
can't-
can reach it
I
from-
can't get this to the damn thing.
flat-footed. See, my strategy is when I know that there's something that it's going to really make me angry or scratch the crap out of my fingers and hands and wrists, I'll just play dumb and ask Chris to hook it up.
Oh, someone got a roll of insulation tape for their birthday.
Yeah.
God, grief. And it's twisted. I found you a problem there anyway. That's all tied together.
Oh
like
my goodness, let's get a
twisted
close-up of
together.
that.
So
That's lovely.
Not quite the manufacturer's
Yeah.
recommended way of doing it.
Yeah, well, they just...
I'm not sure whether that's a supply to the car or whether it's actually the starter solenoid, but I guess we'll find out in a second. That's definitely got more compression than old Large Marge had.
Uh-huh.
I'll tell you that much.
So,
Let's, yeah, what's the gauge telling us?
120. Wow. That's on number 1.
Let's give it the old wide open throttle. That should give it a help.
120, what do you call that, 125?
Yeah.
Yeah.
25.
That's plenty.
That's a good start.
Yeah.
That's certainly enough to light.
Yep.
So,
Yay!
well, you can hit the starter.
All right, you ready?
Yep. Just under 120. Just crank it a couple more times. Yeah, 125. And again. Yep. They're even. Woo.
That's a good one. That's 140 right there.
Yeah. And the thing is too, you should really do a compression test with the engine warm, which obviously this engine hasn't been warm.
Well, it's room temperature.
Okay. Yeah, 140. Okay,
90.
we got a 90.
Boo.
So that'll still fire at that.
Right.
90's enough, just. So one's a little lazy. Remember when it was stuck, and
Yeah.
of course we don't know that it wasn't necessarily all 8 cylinders were stuck. Might have been that one.
Huh. That's true. Yeah.
Okay. That's 70. That's not so good.
No bueno.
Not so good. So that's 2 lazy ones.
Mm-hmm.
Because when we started Marge, we had to put oil down the plug holes
Right. Yeah.
to give it a bit of extra compression. And she started on about 4.5. And once we managed to keep it running, first time it ran for about 15 seconds and died. Had to put more oil down the plugs. Got it to stay running, and it was kind of cool because you could hear the cylinders kicking in.
Really?
As they started to free up. You could hear it was definitely running on maybe 5. And you could hear another cylinder come in about 30 seconds or so. It seemed like. You hear another cylinder come in.
Yeah.
And then another, and then eventually it was all 8.
Yeah.
And that was about the time I thought someone would call the fire brigade from all the smoke. But they didn't, so that was nice.
Now we're back up
120.
to 120. Okay.
So we got 2 lazy ones. So
All right. Well, I'm an
it
optimist.
is what it is.
I'm just going to say that they're going to come back around.
Yeah.
All right. So the pump actually pumps. That's a good thing. We've got power. That's 2 things. We have air. We have spark.
Yep.
Maybe spark. Well, if the distributor has spark, in
Yeah.
theory, we're
Yep.
going to get it out to the plug wires,
Through the plug
right?
wires. Yeah. Next step is let's disconnect this fuel line
Yep.
and get our secondary.
I'm going to go ahead and
Yeah, let's just pull that off
disconnect that
there.
for sure. Yep. So you've got an F100 now, right?
I do have an F100 now.
And it runs okay, doesn't it?
It runs good. We had to change the engine.
Oh.
So yeah, we didn't even try and start that engine because the oil pan. Someone had already taken the oil pan off it. So we were assuming the worst. So we just and I had a spare engine, so did a quick switcheroo on the engine.
Right.
And looking at the bearings on the one we took out, yeah, it was fairly clear as to why they took the pan off. It was.
So I also have a spare engine. Worst comes to worst, in my 66 C10 Pawpaw.
Oh, okay.
It's
You got a spare engine in your Miata too.
that's true. That's true. But the
Think
one
you'd
in
get
the-
away with that engine in the Duct Tape Nationals?
No. No, I couldn't get away with the blower sitting on top of the engine. I mean, there's a $5,000 limit for
There you go.
the whole works. So.
There you go.
No, but the one in Pawpaw is a Target Master 350 that I got from RTM. I bought it because it was designated for project vehicle, and then we used it and drove it around for 25 seconds, and then it sat there, and so I bought it from the company because the 283 in my 66 was, look at this. Oh my God, I gotta get a close-up of that.
All right.
Look at that.
Looks like chili powder.
If this was the 80s,
I thought that powder looked more like salt.
unbelievable.
I'm not even going there.
No.
I don't know what
yeah.
he's talking about.
Fuel system dry. Some of these things make me feel redeemed. Well, actually having a compression tester and
Right.
having a fuel filter just sitting on a shelf, and just things like that I kick myself in the pants for just hoarding all that stuff, and then I need it now. So
Yeah.
I'm just like I feel justified. That's my point.
Okay, I have to go and dive underneath with this. I can't get it from there.
Now we do have a lift if you want to.
I'll have a quick look.
Yeah, we found one in the wild. It's a North American Kiwi. He's under that truck there. He's dormant because it's off season. I think we can probably poke him with a stick. Be careful. They're feisty because it's mating season.
It's always mating season.
It actually is the off season for mowing, but I'm going to go get my lawnmower gas.
The off season. All right, yes, we need some. Is it 2-stroke lawnmower gas?
No,
Oh, good.
no.
All right.
So I've discovered that I've got about 7 ounces of gas in the fuel can. I'm going to run to the corner store, may or may not get some adult beverages, Bobble Pops, and some gasoline, and Chris is going to put the plugs in. All right, so plugs are in. See? Yes.
What do we got for vacuum leaks on this? There's no booster, is there?
No.
So we do. This is a vacuum leak here.
Yes. I've got some caps and stuff. That's got a flathead
It's got
screw
a cap
in
in
it.
it.
The distributor advance.
That was sitting on somewhere. Not sure where. Oh, was that what that was? Okay, that was the distributor advance there.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, looks like we just need a new bit of that.
I might
It'll
actually,
fly without that, but it's not that big a leak.
I've actually got some of that in the drawer.
There you go. And we have to figure out the firing order.
What ID?
Oh, that one.
All right. And how long do you need it?
A bit longer than that piece I gave you. Oh, just give it here. And I'll stick it on and we'll cut it clean. Now, if that's cool, if you're cool with that. I think it had something to do with when your car got advanced and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And when it was cold and stuff like that, it gave it more or less, or did something.
It's the Californiometer.
Yeah.
In California, it didn't get any advance. Okay, so right here. Small block Chevy. There's front. There's 1, 2, 1, 3, 5, 7.
Yep. So we determined that this was 1.
Yeah.
That's 8.
Yeah.
Next one should be 4, so it should be going to the
This
second
is
plug back.
Correct.
Next one should be 3, which is that one. Yep.
Yeah.
Next one should be 6, so that should go to the third one back.
Correct.
Correct. 6, 5 is this one, which is going to 5.
Yep.
And then 7, which is that one. And then 2, which is that one. Second one back. No, 2 is the front one.
Yep.
Yep, okay. They all just need to be pushed home. I didn't
Okay.
push them all the way on.
Yeah, I'm too short. I don't have any leverage. Push them up. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. Okay, there's 1. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That satisfying little pop.
Yeah, a little click. All right, so we're wired for spark.
Push that one on the back cylinder.
Okay.
I couldn't reach it.
Okay.
Now what?
Now, I want to try and crank it enough for it to suck some fuel through.
Yeah.
And we need something to catch the fuel out of there, because I imagine it's going to be a bit nasty.
Yeah, I've got some spill mats, some pig mats.
Even just a like a paint mixing cup, just to pop under it to let it squirt into, would also work.
I have that. We've got tons of this length, don't we?
Yeah,
I
I'll
can cut a piece
just
off.
chop a little piece off that.
Yeah.
Just to prime the system a little.
Yep. Go down into the
pump.
fuel pump. Oh, wow. It's already coming out.
Oh, really? Oh, well, yeah, okay. I've got the head higher, so.
Yeah. So that's a nice purge right there.
Yeah.
The fuel is, wow, yeah.
Nasty.
It's kind of crunchy looking, yeah. So,
But it doesn't seem like the pump has a lot of suck to it.
yeah.
Let's just try it one more time. You can hear it googling.
No, nothing. It gave its last little, just a little bit of,
Yeah,
that was it.
The fuel will drain through it, but it won't suck it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we either try and, it's hard to do a gravity feed.
Well, I'd like to hear it light, so we can pour some down
Just
the
pour some
carb.
down the carburetor. Yep.
Just to hear it do the thing.
We can do that.
And then I'll run to get us another fuel pump. That's not a big deal. Let's use different fuel.
Really? You don't want to recycle?
Yeah.
No.
I saw this thing on YouTube. No, this is real. It was gasoline, and they had a swarming wasp nest, and put it in the gasoline in a bucket, and then put it over the wasp nest, and like in sequence, one after the other, they all just freaking died, and went down.
Huh.
Yeah.
Don't like gasoline.
Apparently not.
Now we need the ignition switch on.
Okay. Not in crank, but in on, right?
Yeah. I'll do it with the remote starter, but if you can just get the key on. Oh, well, let's just see. Holy shit.
No way.
See the cylinders coming?
Yeah.
Wow.
That makes me feel really good, dude.
Wow, I can't believe it
That's-
started that easy.
I know, that's crazy.
I just thought, let's just try and see what happens. And it's like, that hit it at the instant. And you could hear the other cylinder come in. Did you hear like the other, like
Yeah.
it came up onto 8 cylinders?
Yeah. Holy smokes. Did you guys see that?
There's nobody home in that fuel pump, brother. Nobody home.
Bone dry. That's awesome. Awesome.
Well, yeah. A fuel pump, a fuel tank.
Yep. I know somebody who's got a fuel tank. My good friends at
AMD.
AutoMetalDirect.com.
That's awesome. I can't believe how easy that started.
That is ridiculous.
And we didn't even smoke the place out, which is really disappointing.
I think it's a little hazy. But,
Tiny bit. I think we should just run again just for good measure.
yep.
Just because we can.
The idles that taste high.
I think that little port runs down into the fuel bowl, which is why we got the length of time we did.
Right.
But, yeah.
That is so awesome.
We even got heat out the exhaust. That's a little. Yeah, we got a bit more smoke this time around.
Yeah, but it's not blue-white smoke.
No.
So that tells me that there's no water leaks into the cylinder bores. It's not burning white smoke, right?
No.
Maybe it's too early to tell. I don't know.
Well, our lazy cylinders are firing. They're all hot. All the pipes are hot.
Yeah.
So it's just running on 8. Which it sounded like it anyway.
Unreal, man. I am so stoked, Chris. That is fantastic. That's redemption for this whole freaking truck.
Yeah.
You know, it is.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. What?
We need a fuel pump and.
Do you want me to run and get a pump?
Yeah, why not? We're here.
Well, if you want to put that on while I go do another
I'll do that.
parts run. Have you got
and then-
time?
Yeah.
Cool.
Then we just need to run. Yeah, then we can just, to move it around the yard, you can just put a small fuel can, just tuck it up in here somewhere.
I'm wondering if
What? Use the brake reservoir for a fuel tank? No,
No.
I don't think so. No.
if moving it around the yard
It's a good idea.
is a really good idea. I don't know. I would like to know. We can put it up on the lift, right, and then drop it into gear, and that's going to confirm transmission.
See if you've got some.
Forward, reverse.
Tell you what we should have done and we didn't, is we should have lifted the back wheels off the ground.
Why?
What if it was in gear?
I tried real hard to make sure it was in park.
Okay.
Yeah, it won't crank when it's
I
not.
had, as some of you will know, I had a very bad experience with that.
Yeah.
And I kind of vowed to always make sure, especially on something a little unknown, is to make
Yeah.
sure the back wheels are not
Dude.
on the ground.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
I didn't think of it, and that is something for you guys if you're watching this. Like the fact that the park lever was in park,
Yeah.
that's not,
Doesn't-
it's an indication that it's in park, it is
Yeah.
not a guarantee.
Yeah.
And when the guarantee fails and you're on the wrong end of it, it's not a happy ending.
Yeah, I remember that very well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. True. That is
So
wisdom
something,
right
yes,
there, folks.
we should have done it,
Yeah.
and I thought about it early on, and we got a bit carried away with trying to
Yeah.
get it running, which is
Yeah.
what you do, we all make mistakes, and that really was a mistake.
Yeah.
We should have just lifted it up just enough to get the back wheels off the ground in
Yep.
case they decided they wanted to spin, and it didn't just take itself out of the workshop.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
mean, it would have just wiped a few toolboxes and stuff out, but instead of me, because I was
Yeah.
at the side of it,
But I was standing in front of it. So.
yeah, it happens. It
Yeah.
happens. So, but the good news is it started and ran, and it was in park.
Yes.
Or there's no transmission fluid in it. One of them.
Either or. But there's another win. All right, so I just got back from the parts store with the new fuel pump, and Chris imparted some wisdom
We'll share with you.
that I think every small block Chevy guy needs to know.
All right, I don't know if you can see this bolt down here, right where I'm pointing.
Yeah.
I'm just in the process of putting that in. Inside the block, there is a push rod that goes from the eccentric on the cam drive setup, which pushes the pump. When you take the pump off, that little push rod slides out of its little hole, and then you can't get the pump back in, like because the push rod's in the way. What Chevy did was they drilled a little hole and tapped it, and they have this little wee bolt in there, which is basically just to stop oil flying out. So when you want to change the pump, you take that out, you put a longer bolt in.
Before you take the pump off.
Before you take the pump off, you put this longer bolt in there, you run it in, just snug it enough.
Yeah.
You know, don't swing on the wrench, just you'll feel it touch, just give it the slide, because you don't want to hurt it.
Right, you just want to hold it.
Just give it a little nip to stop gravity sliding it out.
Yeah.
And it kind of sits on an angle like about that, so it just wants to slide out. And putting that little bolt in there, jams it, you do the, change the pump, take the bolt out, put this little one back in, and away you go.
Cool.
Yeah, but if you don't do that, I mean, it's not the end of the world. You can manage, you can push it up with a finger and get that bolt in.
Right.
But it's much easier to do it before you start.
Yeah.
And then try and patch it up, kind of fix it later.
And if you don't know, then
You don't know.
it makes you sad, and then you drink a lot and wonder why. Why is life so horrible? So what was your first car? I don't think I've ever asked you that.
My first car was a Fiat Bambina.
The little roundy
Which is
ones?
like a Fiat 500.
Yeah.
Which they did a retro one, I don't know, 10 years ago?
Yeah. They were cool looking cars.
Yeah. And it was a 500cc, so half a litre, 2-cylinder 4-stroke. And I think they made about 14 horsepower or something.
Yeah.
50 mile an hour was flat out,
Yep.
absolutely screaming.
Yeah.
Had a pull lever, you had a key and a lever that you pulled to operate the starter motor, which the little lever pulled a cable which operated the starter motor.
Wow.
And yeah, one of those cars I wish I still, those are worth a fortune now.
Yeah.
An absolute fortune.
Yeah. So that was the sound of Chris taking a gasoline bath. So I'm a little worried about
Turns
Chris.
out we do.
He's over there mumbling and talking to himself. And what has happened is that he's poured fuel all over the bottom of the shop. And I don't know. Uh-oh.
The end of our dangler fell off.
Ah. The circuit was open.
The circuit was open.
Look at that.
She's a Flood-O-Matic.
Flood-O-Matic. Okay, so what does that mean?
That means the needle and seat's probably
Stuck.
either stuck to the bottom of the fuel bowl,
Yeah.
or just, the needle and seat's just dried up and not sealing anymore. Yeah, it was interesting. You heard it go from the can that we fueled it, we poured it,
Yeah.
poured down it, to its own fuel supply to, oh, there's too much fuel supply.
Yeah.
So
Lots.
that's what was going to happen. It was either going to
Yeah.
flood or the needle and seat sometimes jam closed.
Yeah.
And then it just won't take any fuel on board.
So it's a lot to ask that carburetor to sit there
After
that long.
20 years, yeah.
Yeah. And so it's dried out. So if you were going to rebuild that,
Yeah, just take it off, strip it, soak it,
Yeah.
put a carburetor kit through it.
yeah.
I mean, you don't need to send it off for a full rebuild where they bore the shafts out and put
No,
bushings in
just-
and all that stuff. It's just a matter of just putting fresh
And
gaskets
I've
in
seen
it.
guys do a roadside on that.
Yeah,
as well.
It's just fresh gaskets, and you could possibly even flip the top off that now, and free up the needle and seat, and it worked.
Yeah.
But without it running a bit longer, we can't really see if it goes into gear. But we can pop the top off the carb and have a quick look if you want.
Let's do that.
Okay.
Just to see. Just
You'll
to
have to
maybe
get
there's
it
a-
down a little bit to get the wheels back on the ground, because
Yeah.
I can't reach. Yeah, it fires up. There's nothing, and there's no knocks, no rattles.
No.
I mean, it didn't even take time. The lifters weren't even bled down.
No.
It didn't have any
No.
valve train noise. It just fired up.
I love it, man. I love it.
And
Which forebodes that at 6,500 RPM with an offshore turbo on it, it's going to do good burnouts, right?
it should do good burnouts. Going to need the turbo to keep up with my truck, but that's all right. We need a Phillips head screwdriver.
Phillips head screw. Get your own Phillips head screw.
Okay.
You're going to insult my...
Oh, it's got fuel in it. kind of brought part of the gasket with us.
Yeah, oh well.
Okay, that's all right. I mean, that's, where can we put this down?
Right here.
It doesn't look terrible. Yes, it was. Not sure what's happening there. What's in the float bowl? It's a little dirty in the bottom of the float bowl.
Yeah.
Maybe the float may have actually been stuck to the bottom. Possibly. We need to kind of get in there and try and give that a little clean out. See, this just blew out.
Yeah.
All it needed was a bit of that under the needle and seat when it was
Right.
trying to shut, just to hold it open. So what I might do is put it back on. It's going to be hard to get that off. Might just hang it onto that with your bands. So we'll screw the top back on and we'll whip these fittings out.
Because, I mean, like you're right, all of this. That looks,
Doesn't look, you know, I've seen them a lot crustier than that. That
Yeah.
looks like someone just put a kit in it. But I think the main reason our needle and seat was not sealing was these little bits of rust scale.
wow, yeah.
And you only need a tiniest chunk to get grabbed as the float comes up. As that fuel came in for the first time in 20 years, it came up, and if it just pinches one of those little grains of rust, and then it continues to fill, well, that just jams it even harder. That little piece won't drop out of there until you take the fuel out of the carburetor. I mean, you can't drive it like that because the fuel will slosh out over the sides. But it'll actually run like just idle type thing, whatever.
Is there a screen in there?
No, someone's deleted it.
Oh, how's it look?
Open. Not so bad, but there's been rust in there.
Yeah.
So, and we did blow a bit out of in here, so. But yeah, there's normally a spring and a little filter in there.
There's a jewel. Drywall screw.
Like, oh, well, there's something out of the carburetor. No, no. No, you got to say it sounds like a solid engine. Let's shut her off and we'll put some oil in it and then we'll lift it up before we put oil, once we put oil in it.
Yeah.
Not idling super smooth, but that carb did have the 3.5 minute rebuild.
That's
So yeah, let's pour some trans fluid down it because that trans fluid was not even showing on the dipstick.
no.
So
Thank you.
I can't see if I'm overflowing. That's all. Oh, there we go. I can see now.
Oh, that's better. Yeah. Has it got enough in it?
No.
A little bit more? Yeah.
I wondered who the heck said that thing. I'm like, what? Where'd she come
Do you
from?
need to stop pouring it in?
No.
Keep pouring it in then. Okay.
That's probably enough to dry it, I think.
Okay. All right, should we add any more?
For the last time, no.
Oh my God, I need a stool to reach the dipstick.
All right, so
You just start it there if you want.
you ready?
Yeah. That's probably enough to find the gear.
All right.
It's a whole lot of nothing at the moment. Nothing on this side. That wheel's frozen anyway.
Uh-oh.
Oh, there we go. That'd be a forward gear. That's doing about 30.
So the selector is MIA. It's just floating, so I think it's come loose from the
Right.
selector shaft and the transmission. But that was turning, right?
Oh, yeah. What did you do to make it turn?
Dropped it all the way down.
Oh, it did something?
Yeah, and then from
Okay.
there it was just lost.
All right.
Well, and
That
guy's-
wheel's free, the other wheel is not.
Yeah.
So
So
it
apparently-
drives.
Yeah.
Yeah, no reason to, reverse. It's a be turbo 350, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't do much.
No.
Yeah, they don't usually fail. And it's 99% sure the reverse is there. But
So-
it's just a matter of getting that linkage hooked up properly and yeah, away you go.
I'll pull those drums off and see what the heck is going on with those wheels or the cylinders and the
Yeah.
brake kit. I've got hoses on. I think they showed up at the doorstep, but got hoses, wheel cylinders, and yeah,
Master cylinder.
and a master cylinder. Yep.
You gonna put booster on it?
Right now, no,
Okay.
no. And if I turn this thing into a driver and make it into a nice truck, yes.
Right.
Yeah, I like power brakes. I like the way they feel.
Well, if you put a turbo on it, that's gonna
Yeah,
affect that decision too.
true. If we put turbo, then we don't want a booster.
No, we don't have a lot of vacuum.
Well, this is fantastic.
Yeah, it's
Holy
awesome.
smokes, Chris. And it just lights up. It just sits there and idles.
Yeah,
It
it's
sounds-
idling better now. We put connected the PCV valve up.
Yeah.
That's improved the idle quite a bit. I mean, you got a good engine.
Yeah.
I can't believe that was seized up.
I know. It would like, and you were here, it was seized up,
Oh,
like
yeah,
they
it
wouldn't
wasn't-
turn seized
no,
up.
No, it wouldn't turn over. It was clicking. It was trying to move.
It built enough pressure in the transmission to drop into gear.
Yeah.
Never mind selector, whatever. And maybe it's just low on fluid, it won't, but it was,
But didn't he, when we picked it up, didn't he jump underneath and
Yes,
disconnect something under there?
disconnected it, yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah, you just got to
yeah,
get
there's
to the bottom of that.
a thing, there's one of those
One of those.
that's not through the,
Yeah.
Right.
Cool. Well, that was fun. That
Yeah.
was fun. There's always something, maybe it's a romantic notion or something, but something about getting an old abandoned vehicle to run again.
Yeah.
It's like giving it life again.
Well, this one wanted to start.
Yeah.
I've said over and over again that these vehicles talk to us. This morning, before you got here, this one gave me the middle finger. It talked to me. But they want to come back. I
Yeah.
know they do.
That's one of the quickest refires from this, been part this long that
Yeah.
I've ever
Yeah.
dealt with.
Well,
That
and like you said, the lifters didn't need
No.
pumped act. It didn't rattle. It didn't.
I mean, it was quick enough to the point where there's probably going to be some skeptics that say they already had that running, but I promise you, we did
no.
not. The first thing that went through my head was, oh, did we get that on film? Because,
Yeah.
it's like that. I did expect to be messing around with this and messing around with that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that just fired up.
Yep. I'm so stoked, man. I mean, that'll lot drive for sure. That'll go around the block. That'll
Yeah.
you know, it could be shop truckish for a while. And timing seems to be decent.
It's there or thereabouts, yeah. I'm just wondering if it's got an working accelerator pump. Oh, yep, accelerator pump works even.
How can you tell?
Well, I'm peering down it, but you can also see some, oh, still slipping. See the little fumes coming up? That's the,
Yeah.
That's the gas squirting down there.
Yeah.
So it's got an accelerator pump. So yeah, that's,
So thereby it's got throttle control.
yeah. We'll call that officially rebuilt carburetor.
So that answers the question of will it run?
Will it run? It will.
Will it run? It does.
Air, fuel and spark, that's all you need.
Yeah.
And compression.
Well,
Uh,
and a Chevrolet. Well, Chris, I can't thank you enough, man. Thank you for your time, for coming to lend your expertise with this, and
It's all fun. As I say, there's a romantic side to getting these old girls running.
yeah.
This for
Yeah.
me anyway.
Oh man,
And
for
I
me
think a
too.
lot of you guys out there
Yeah.
feel the same, I'm sure.
Well, there's a lot of hope wrapped up in this, for me especially, and it's you know,
Hmm.
you take a gamble. I basically bought the thing sight unseen. We went and looked at it, and you know, my stomach was falling into my butthole, and at the same time, it's like, well, what are we gonna do? Or what do we have here?
Yeah.
Even if it's the cab, that's the only sheet metal that's good on the truck, that's fine. If the cab's junk, AMD has everything to make a cab, so
Yeah.
I'm not worried about it. I did check the chassis. The chassis is solid. There's no rust through on any of the pickup points or anything like that. So if we have to, and we've done it, you and I have both done it, start my C10 truck.
Yeah.
You know, I put floors, cab corners, rockers in that, and then skinned the entire vehicle with a different year and made it into a short bed. So I'm not worried. You know, my wife thinks I'm crazy, but I'm not worried about what isn't good on this truck.
But yeah, you've gone from
Oh.
a truck that was like, yeah, it's okay, like buy,
Yeah.
to that's a good buy.
Yep.
Just like that.
Engine and transmission is worth what I paid for this truck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And 350s are getting harder and harder to find.
They are.
So
And it makes me wonder if you know, let's put a 4-barrel. If we want to go EFI, put an EFI, you know, throttle body on it, and then you got the cold starts in the winter and all that kind of stuff. But I don't know. There's nothing wrong with a carburetor, right?
they made a lot of them. They made a lot of cars with carburetors.
Yep.
And there's some plus sides to EFI. But it's just a whole another lot of jobs to do.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but I never saw you pull out a single electronic diagnostic tool.
No.
We used an old analog test light with a
Test
bulb
light
that
and
was
a voltmeter.
Yeah.
Test light and a voltmeter. That was that's all it took.
So
And
there's something to be said for that,
Yeah.
for sure. So Chris, help me sign off. We just want to say thanks for watching. Please go to
Yes.
Kiwi Classics and Customs. Chris
Yeah,
does
come
all
over and
kinds
take
of,
a look.
He does a really cool stuff, and has got some good stuff. And you want to pick up on Large Marge and maybe get a Super Cav T-shirt,
Yep.
something like that. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. It means the world that you guys are paying attention, commenting, giving us your suggestions and your stories. You know, it's all about the stories. It's all about what we can share, what we're bringing back to life, and what it means to us. These cars, they mean something to us. You know, it's a connection that goes way down deep. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next Saturday.
All right. See you guys.